We have understood about service provider, service consumer, the various service consumer roles and other stakeholders that are important for value creation. Let's start talking about service relationship. Right? Service relationship management. Right? Previously, we used to have, or we have this business relationship management. Right? It's a very important role within an organization. That particular person goes and meets the customers or try to understand the needs. Right? So it's a business relation. Now, the service relationship management is equally important. Service provisioning, right? When we talk about service provisioning, it consists of activities provided by service consumer to provide service. We have seen this earlier, service provisioning, service consumption, right? To create value, an organization must do more than simply provide a service. You all might surely agree that, right? It must also cooperate with the consumers in what we call service relationship. Service relationship are established between two or more organizations to co-create value. In a service relationship, organization will take the role of service provider or service consumer. The two roles are not mutually exclusive, and organization typically both provide and consume a number of services at any given time. When services are delivered by the provider, they create new resources for service consumers, or they change the existing ones. For example, a training service improves the skill of consumers, employee, or a broadband service allows the consumer computers to communicate. A car hire service allows the consumer staff to visit clients. Or a software development service creates a new application for service consumers. So in a nutshell, service relationship is a cooperation between a service provider and service consumer. Service relationship includes service provision, service consumption, and service relationship management. Let's look at some activity of service provisioning. Service provisioning includes management of the provider's resources configured to deliver the service, ensuring access to those resources for users, fulfillment of agreed service actions, for example, in a service level agreement or organizational level agreement, and including service level management and continual improvement. So, while provisioning services, the key agreements which we are talking about, or the key process which gets involved, is going to be like service performance management, service level management, continual improvement. So service review meetings becomes a part of the service provisioning. Right? Service consumption. Activities performed by organization to consume services would include management of consumer resources needed to use the service, utilization of the provider's resources, requesting of a service action to fulfill, and the receipt of acquiring the goods. Managing provision and consumption is relationship management. Joint activities performed by service provider and a service consumer to ensure value co-creation based on agreed and available service offering. Over the couple of slides you might have seen arrow mark coming back, right? You see whether it's a service from a service consumer to a service provisioning, so that this is the cycle, or it's a continual improvement feedback which keeps coming into that. Over the next couple of slides, we will take some examples to understand what we have been talking about, right? This particular diagram helps to visualize the service relationship. Starting at the bottom, the blue color bar, what we have our resources, which could be our facility, people, hardware and software, right? Patents, formula, IT assets, which is basically anything of financial value. So resources. Those resources are used to deliver product. As we saw earlier, product outputs into three categories: goods, access to resources, for example with a cloud service like Amazon Web Services, and service actions. Those goods, access to resources and or service actions are going to represent the service offering. The service offering is that formal description of one or more services designed to address the need of a target consumer group. And as we see, a service offering may include goods, access to resources and or service actions. And at the top we see service relationship, the cooperation between service provision and service consumption, including service relationship management. Let's use an example of airline services. At the bottom we see our resources: aircraft, airport infrastructure, crews, ground personnel, IT systems, partners, services. Those resources are used to deliver product, transporting the passengers and transporting cargo. Some of the goods would be food, beverages and toiletries. The access to these resources will be different type of seats, streaming movie services or extra space for carry-on bags. Service action would be piloting, check-in baggage handling and in-flight services. The specific service offering is all flights and options from New York to London. The service relationship is a direct first class flight from New York City to London. How about a personal cloud mail and calendar service like Zoho.com or something similar? What are the resources? You can very clearly say the resources, the bottom one, are application, service, network, cloud services, right, etc. etc. What are the products that you're talking about? The products are specifically online, mail and calendar. They have no goods to offer. but their access to resources is application and interfaces to access and manage mail and calendar information. The service actions are user support, backup and restore services, content scanning for security, and integration. The component to access to resources and service action leads to their service offering, which is personal and business subscription. The service relationship, mail and calendar accounts, is what their service relationship. How about workplace support, otherwise known as service desk? We all have been using workplace support, otherwise also known as service desk. So let's try to understand the relationship starting from resources to service relationship, how this goes on. So what are the resources? Now it's very quite clear, like we have seen a couple of examples, so you should be very clear. Resources. So what are the resources? We have it over here. For service desk, so it's going to be server, client and network infrastructure, software, personal data, right? Internal, external services. What is the product which we are talking about is end user computing. The goods could be a mouse, a laptop, backpack and headphone. Their access to resources could be laptops and desktops, printing, network storage, mail and calendar. The service actions would be more like user support, troubleshooting, data backup and restore. The combination of goods, resource access and service action leads to their service offering, which is executive, mobile and designer workplaces, which leads to their service relationship, which is their overall workplace support for a particular department, business unit or organization unit.